I'm Captain Gorman from the State Police Office in Medford, Oregon. Although I'm the co-host for this episode of Gangbusters, I'm not the one who brought in the killer. That was done by Slim Maul, one of the most fearless men I've met in my rather varied career. I'll tell you all about it in a moment. That's the man our story is about.
Areas of our great country are vistas of robust beauty, even awe-inspiring in the rugged peace they offer. The mountains are high, the timber is tall, the silence is impressive. A variety of wildlife struggles for existence against nature and man. And man is often the wrecker. He can leave a black, unsightly scar as a sign of his passing.
It was dry in the forest, and 2 forest rangers were making their inspections of the fire trails.
George? George Duncan.
Probably checking his trot lines.
Yeah, or his traps. Or he could be hiding 10 feet from here and we'd never know it.
Yeah, it could be for a fact.
Well, he's had his final notice to clean up around here. This is a fire hazard.
We'll have to find him and bring him in.
You're right.
How old is Duncan?
Must be in his late 70s.
Man that old has no business living out here alone. He get cabin fever. Drives him about half loco.
Old George Duncan's all right. Had a few brushes with the law, but...
We better take cover.
Stand hitch.
Duncan never missed twice in a row in his life.
Wrong. He never missed the first time. He busted my pipe. That meant he was aiming at my pipe.
Well, we can't leave him running around loose.
Wrong again. 50, 100 men couldn't find Duncan if he didn't want to be found in these woods. He moves like a ghost. He missed. He circled us.
Looks like his move.
Ours. And make it slow, just like we intended to mind our own business.
Then when we get down the trail a piece,
We keep minding our own business. This is a job for the law.
The ranger's complaint, added to reports from campers who had been shot at, indicated it was time to pick up Duncan. I, the 2 rangers, and Trooper Paul Lang constituted the posse. Now, Lang had known Duncan for a number of years and believed that he could persuade him to come in peacefully.
See anything?
Yeah, which means nothing. He melts into the scenery.
Duncan! Duncan! Captain Parsons, State Police. Come on out, I want to talk to you. Come out, there won't be any trouble.
Let me handle this, Captain. If he's in there, he'll listen to me.
Spread out so he can't give us the slip.
George! George! This is Paul Lang. You know me. I'm coming in to talk with you. Friendly like. George! If you're looking, you can see I'm leaving my gun here. I'm coming in like I said. Friendly like.
Easy, Paul, take it easy. Paul's dead, huh? Friendly like. Crazy. Crazy.
If we rush him, he's liable to get another one of us.
We got him locked in, we'll blast him out.
Can we do anything for Paul?
It's all been done by Duncan.
I should have stayed put.
I did the same thing. Bring up the car. We'll take care of Paul.
We'll put so many men in these woods, not even a red step band will get through. There was only one hope left. Catch a trapper with a trapper. Find a man with equal cunning and knowledge. A man named Russell Maul was recommended for the job, and I anxiously awaited his arrival. Come in.
Captain Gorman? Pleased to meet up with you, Captain.
Are you the man they told me about?
Looks to me like you're a mite disappointed.
Well, no, I didn't expect to meet
Such a skinny drink of water. You're thinking, Captain, he might make a good manhunter, but he sure don't look like one.
Well, Slim, you don't mind my calling you Slim?
That's what I am. Can't get away from that.
Now, you know all about Duncan, huh?
Yep. Filled on him right up to here.
Good. And you're familiar with this area here?
Abbott Butte? Been hunting there for 20 years.
Then you know what's going to happen when the hunting season opens up there.
Yeah, I reckon I do. Every ribbon clerk and joker who can lay his hands on a rifle will be in there. They'll take out through those woods, yapping like a pack of dogs on a coon scent, and blasting away at everything in sight.
Now, we know that Duncan's in this area, because some bloodhounds picked up a scent of some bed camps he'd left, but we never got close enough to him to see him. Something funny?
Duncan must be spitting his sides knowing you're using bloodhounds. Why, in that tangled bush country, a bloodhound will be about as useful as using a butterfly net to catch a rabbit in a briar patch.
Now, we know Duncan's been in there just about long enough to begin to run out of grub and ammunition. When those city fellas barge in there starting October 1st, he'll probably jump some of them, snatch their victuals and their guns. There's likely to be another shooting. You reckon on that?
Yes, I'd give anything to have Duncan out of those woods by October the 1st.
Well, I ain't a man to boast, Captain. But if anyone can catch that poor cat Duncan, I can do it. Like I told you, I know that country. I know how a man's got to go in after him. You got to go in there and live like Duncan till they catch up with him.
You think you're in condition to go in there and stay?
Because I'm so skinny? Captain, the only difference between me and anybody else is I eat to live. Most folks live to eat. What little meat I got on my bones is solid.
All right, Slim. Then you're all set to get going.
Reckon we are.
We?
Me and my partner.
Your partner? Now, Slim, we agreed that this was to be a one-man job.
Ginger meets your boss. My partner.
But you're not going to take her with you, are you?
She goes where I go. She's a good dog and good company. One female who don't talk too much, which is probably why we get along so good.
You think she could track down a man?
Nope. I sort of plan on doing my own tracking. Ginger here ought to keep Duncan from tracking after me. You want me to bring Duncan out of the woods dead or alive?
Slim, Duncan's wanted for murder. I don't think he'd hesitate to kill you.
Oh, I reckon that.
And if and when he finds out that you're after him, it'll be a 50-50 chance whether he gets you or you get him.
That still doesn't answer my question.
Well, Slim, as a special state police officer, it's your duty to bring your prisoner in alive when you can. But if it's a question between you and him, I hope you get in the first shot, because Duncan doesn't use a second one on anything he aims at.
I don't waste many bullets either. Besides, he's older than I am, and he's been out there 2 months. I reckon that's about all the odds we need. Eh, Ginger?
Any questions?
No. Just swear me in, let me get started.
All right.
Since every ounce of extra gear weighs 10 pounds by the end of a full day's tracking, I chose a pair of moccasins my pappy used to wear. I thought of my sleeping bag, and then I thought again. I could see myself zippered up like a mummy, and old George Duncan was slipping up on me. I settled for a woolen blanket with one side waterproofed, 2 boxes of shells for my rifle, and then started fixing my grub. For a price about 100 whole cakes, Ginger. Been carrying a pack for weeks without it getting moldy. If you lay one on a hot rock in the sunshine, it'll soften up and be mighty tasty, girl. Now we'll take a slab of bacon and cook it until we get close to Duncan. After that, we'll eat it raw. Ain't so tasty, Ginger, but will keep your ribs apart. Outside a few little incidentals, we were ready to travel.
The forest had a look of peace. No sign a murderer was at large. Bear cubs romped, sensing no danger. Maul felt at home in the wild quiet. He made so little noise that he did not disturb any of the wild creatures.
I found signs I was headed in the right direction. Scuff marks, twigs.
Breaking this twig is getting dark. That means, girl, he was here more than 3 days ago. Right direction. He's up on us in time. Well, we get to Button Creek. Well, then we'll find out more. Ginger, that's part of the answer to how he gets his grub. An old Indian trick for catching fish. Trap him in a dam. Tells us more about Durkin, too. Must have taken him at least 5 hours to put them rocks in that stream, careful-like so as not to scare off the fish. We're up against a mighty sharp woodsman with a heap of patience. Well, we'll just put his fish store out of business in case he wants to come by here again.
Cut off his grub supply. That was the idea. I reckon once I caught up with him, the big battle would be keeping him on the run, and in the end, starve him out.
Maul didn't release all the fish. He remembered his and Ginger's supper.
I found something else near that dam. Something that would be a heap of help later. Now I had the measure of his prints.
Maul lost the element of surprise that had favored him. For Duncan, keen-eyed and wood-smart, discovered Maul's presence in the woods. Duncan found he had to tighten his belt. The supply of fish he had counted on was gone. He knew now that he was being followed by an expert. Duncan had not yet glimpsed his pursuer, but he could, like Maul had done, make certain of his tracks. Duncan took the measurements. He'd be certain of them from now on.
"3 days, 4, a week. Always a sign and never a glimpse. By the 10th day, I'd covered 200 miles and ranged from 1,200 feet up to 6,500. Duncan had worked back to the low country where we'd started. I knew now how Duncan could cook without leaving a smoke sign. Fire in the hollow log, meat on top. Cover with moss and the smoke was filtered out. Wouldn't be enough to reach tree height, or hardly even to smell. He'd used it several times. Right then, I decided it would be my base camp.
How well do you know this nephew?
Oh, he's a straight shooter, never been in trouble, hard worker, boy you can depend on.
Can we count on him to report if Duncan shows up?
Yeah, I think we can.
After introductions, the first question was about George Duncan.
See him around? How are you?
Not so good.
No sign of Uncle George?
No, has he been around? Deese, I'm just wondering where your sympathies lie.
George Duncan is my uncle. But I don't hold with murder.
That's what I figured. Now, we have some supplies here for Slim Maul. He's tracking Duncan, and I figure he's just about due to pay you a visit.
Ma? Or Uncle George?
Well, that's a thought. What if Duncan comes in first?
If he wanted the supplies, he'd take them.
Would you give them to him?
What would you do?
Yeah. How much ammunition you got in the house?
Bought a box.
What caliber?
30-30, same as Uncle George's.
We better borrow that in case Duncan gets here first.
Suits me.
All right.
I'd like to keep one shell. I feel kind of naked with an empty gun.
I know the feeling. How about it, Captain?
Well, okay, but keep it hidden. Now, did you ever use a walkie-talkie?
Mm-hmm, in the Army.
Good. We'll monitor the wavelength 24 hours a day. You give us a buzz if you see him coming your way.
Especially Duncan.
You can count on it.
Good.
I was getting nowhere chasing him, so I decided to gamble. I'd let him come to me. I fried my bacon upwind from where I thought he'd be. If he smelled it and came calling, I'd be ready. It was good strategy. If he didn't suspect I was after him. If he did suspect... I'd been in for over 2 weeks. My tracks had crossed Duncan, so he knew I was here. Maybe it was the silence that suddenly got so loud. Maybe it was the good helper upstairs, but all at once I knew that Duncan was there. I heard his rifle click. I figured I'd made a mistake. I had a second, maybe less. Come sunup, I'd track Duncan, but just for the time being, I decided to lay low and quiet.
Crafty Duncan did not overlook any bets. He set up an old Indian trick, a deadly knife trap. The trap was silent and could be effective in eliminating a pursuer. Duncan wanted to make certain Maul would walk into the trap. He baited the trigger by making fresh footprints. Maw's eyes should be on them, his head down.
I moved fast, but not too fast, in case he tried to bushwhack me. The tracks kept getting fresher. I was gaining on him. I forced myself to lay still and breathe easy. I wanted the advantage of making him come to me. 1 minute, no sign. 2, still no sign. I got to thinking, how come he'd tried such a crude trick? His chances of working was 1 in 50. Then I got it. He was out of shells. According to the map, the closest house was his nephew's on Elk Creek. By now, he had about 5 minutes head start. My problem was simple. I had to catch him before he got to his nephew and found some more shells.
George, why'd you come here? You trying to get me in trouble with you?
Carra, I ain't had much time. Where's the shells?
State troopers took them.
How about your gun? The one in the chamber?
Told you the state troopers took them.
What about your gun? Is there a shell in the chamber?
I told you the state troopers took them.
I'm less than a minute ahead of that fella. Give it to me or I'll blow you wide open.
With an empty gun?
It ain't empty.
Now why are you running? You killed deer on the run with one shot.
Take it easy, old-timer.
I would have killed you last night, but you rolled. How come?
Sensed you was there.
Sensed it. You didn't hear nothing? I didn't make no noise? Sensed it. You part Injun?
Kilkenny.
Figures. Nobody but an Injun could have caught me. Allow you to miss might disappointed. Disappointed I run out of shells. Yes, sirree. If that hadn't happened, you and me could have had a lot of fun out there. Would have been right interesting. Right interesting.
And I reckon it would have been. Only I'm satisfied it ended the way it did.
Thank you, Slim Maul, for your courageous service to the people of the state of Oregon, and for telling your story on gangbusters tonight. George Duncan was tried, found guilty, and confined in the state penitentiary. Now here is a person still at large and wanted by the police.
Attention. Attention to all citizens and police.
If you have any information concerning this clue, notify your local police, the FBI, or gangbusters at once. Next week, we will have a different case for you, taken from the files of the police. Until then, on behalf of the police, we invite you to join us.
Gangbusters, created by Phillips Lord. The case you have heard tonight was based upon police records, court records, and personal interviews.